Hi, I'm Karina Govindji, and I'm delighted to be here with you, Professor Zayn Kassam. I'm a governor in the IIS and have the privilege of working closely with you. I'm going to share a little bit about you, the fact that you were born and raised in Kenya, and you have an academic background in Islamic studies and the history of religion from McGill. We're very lucky to have brought you over. You were a former professor at the Pomona College in the US, where you served as an Associate Dean for Diversity, Equity and Inclusion.
Yeah.
And Professor Zayn, you are recognized for your excellence in teaching and publishing with, I know, numerous awards, including a really strong focus on gender, the environment and community engagement. So we're really delighted to have you join the Institute of Ismaili Studies. I know you've been with us since January 2023.
Yes.
And I also know you've been very busy, intensely working on a new strategic plan for the Institute of the Ismaili Studies.
Yes.
So I'd love for you to sort of share with us, why was it important for you to be developing a new strategic plan at this time?
So, the last strategic plan was developed and implemented in 2011 for a 10-year period. And then, of course, COVID hit. So we're actually a few years late in bringing the next 10-year strategic plan out. Now, what strategic plans do is that they actually allow an organization to take stock. Are we meeting the needs of our stakeholders? Have things, changed for our Jamats living globally, and have global conditions changed that, the mission of the Institute is still relevant? And are there things that we need to be doing that we should be doing as a result of what's going on the ground? It also allows us to kind of understand, where we have done well and where we need to regroup and think of new strategic directions. So it's been really a joy to work on this strategic plan, which, the first year is 2025, and we hope it will take us into 2035.
Wonderful. Well, maybe you could tell us a bit more about the key priorities and the directions that you just mentioned.
Sure. Now, there are many, at least 10 priorities, and I'll just talk about a few of them here. The first thing is that we are sorely in need of revisioning, sort of like calibrating the primary Talim curriculum, because it was originally written about 30 years ago. And given, the ways in which children learn these days, given the fact that, we really are living in a digital age, there is a need to kind of think about what are some of the pedagogies that are now available to us that were not available then, that we could incorporate in how we deliver the primary curriculum. Because that, of course, as we know, is foundational for children in faith, right? In establishing an understanding of their faith. The second thing is that we also want to devote some resources to completing the secondary curriculum, because we have about 2 modules left to complete. And so I'd like to see headway being done on that. And as Maulana Shah Karim did talk about the importance of early childhood education. So we want to develop frameworks and guidelines for connecting early childhood development materials that are being utilized by ITREMs all over the world with respect to how they connect to faith. So that's one thing.
I would know that Jamat will be delighted to hear about the focus on curriculum. And of course, the curriculum spans, like you said, early childhood, but the secondary curriculum is also so valuable for adults at any stage.
Absolutely. Then another strategic imperative that I'm really, really excited about is that we would like to leverage the vast knowledge resources at the Institute to produce materials for supporting religious education, having a better understanding of Islamic civilization and our identity and our history, our philosophy from 0 to 99. So how do we create those kinds of materials that can actually be read by everyone, because, of course, we're well known for the production of our academic work, how to translate that academic work into work that is legible for everyone. A third initiative that I'm also very excited about is, considering what would it be like to be the first Muslim institution in the United Kingdom to actually have degree awarding powers. So that's the third thing that we would like to consider and move forward if we can. And another initiative that I'll mention is also that um, we really want to harness the power of technology in all our teaching materials, especially as we develop human resources for the Jamat. So that is a fourth.
Wow.
Yes.
It sounds like a very ambitious plan and lots to be achieved. And I know that the Jamat is very much at the center of the plan. So could you talk a little bit about how the strategic plan reflects the evolving needs of the Jamat and also perhaps the academic community more broadly?
Yes. So, what we've seen, and this is what our environmental scans are showing us when we talk to ITREBs, that there is migration within the South and North-South as well, East-West. And what migration flows are doing is that they're bringing communities together that, divergent Muslim communities are coming together, diverse Ismaili communities are coming together, and diverse non-Ismaili, non-Muslim communities are now meeting Muslims and Ismailis from different parts of the world. So, this is really our opportunity to do something about the clash of ignorance and to create materials that will build bridges of understanding, that will also address, the tremendous civilizational riches that people bring with them as migrants, whether it's in our food, in our music, or in our intellectual work, our devotional work, etc. So this is a great opportunity for us to do something creative and important and interesting in that way, because we really do need to learn how to get along with each other in what are societies that are becoming increasingly pluralistic. So that's one key area. And the other thing is that, we're also finding that we have to work across the spectrum, because there are some parts of the world where there is very little access to anything digital. And then there are other parts of the world, in fact, the one that we live in, where unplugging is actually a privilege because we have to be plugged in just about 24/7, right? So working across that in order to produce materials that will enrich our understanding of what life is all about and our meaning and purpose in it is, I think, very important to address. Yeah.
And I think what you said is, the role that the Institute has to play in bridge building and the way we articulate the faith to the broader community is so critical. And when you talk about modals, I also know, there's lots of different modes of communication that the Institute is going to share its knowledge.
Absolutely. We're producing short videos. We're producing, podcasts. We're thinking about producing much thinner publications, as it were, pamphlets almost, as it, you could call them, that will sort of like delve into one area or another so that they're a delight to read and you learn something from it. So, yes. I'm very excited.
Good. And I know I personally will enjoy the more digestible materials. Oh, wonderful.
We would like to produce children's books. So that'd be, I think, a first for the Institute. Yes. Of course, we have children's stories that are embedded in the curriculum, but we would like to produce children's books as well.
Oh, I can imagine.
A couple are out already. So
I can imagine parents will absolutely love being able to share those with their children as bedtime stories.
Exactly. Yes.
So you mentioned earlier about ITREB, so the Tariq Religious Education Boards. That's obviously one of the key stakeholders that were involved in this process of the development of the plan. Were there other stakeholders as well?
Yes, we talk to students, we talk to alumni, we talk to members of the Board of Governors, we talk to our donors, we talk to staff, of course, because, staff also come with different sort of like perspectives on depending on their countries of origin, etc. And we talk to ITREPs. We try to understand from them, what they would like to see in the strategic plan. And their feedback was also very, very helpful and useful to us. We talked to teachers, WISE-in, all the stakeholders that we could find and have conversations with. So hopefully, we've captured some of their concerns as well as their aspirations in the strategic plan. Let's see. Yeah.
And we obviously have been through a transition recently as a
Yes.
community. So could you
Yes.
tell us a bit about the challenges that the IIS anticipates as you sort of think about both during the transition, but also, going forward? And what role does the Institute play in supporting the transition?
Right. So, the transition was a very, very emotional time for the global Jamat, you know. And clearly, one of the questions that was uppermost in people's minds, in fact, people may not necessarily have had to think about it in quite the same way before, but what does it mean when, there is a change in the imamate, right? Um, and so there were a lot of questions that came to us about imamate. What is the function of the imam? What is the status of the imam? What is the imamate all about? What is the institution of imamate all about? What are its prerogatives, etc.? And what is its long lineage in history as well? And I have to say that, the staff at the Institute really came together and working with our alumni and with other people who have been associated with the Institute to put on a series of masterclasses over 3 weeks, which were very well attended, in order to train educators in the Jamaat on how to address the kinds of questions that the Jamaat was going to be asking. And those are very, very productive sessions. We received very good feedback, and it made us think about how we can perhaps take the model of the masterclass forward to address any other issues that the Jamaat comes up with or that the ITREBs feel we need to be addressing. We do know already that there are always questions about our rituals, our rites, our ceremonies, questions about who does what, etc. So, yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Could you tell us, there's obviously so much work that the Institute of Ismaili Studies has done historically. In what ways does this strategic plan sort of build on the Institute's past achievements?
Yeah. So, we've now had over 45 years of experience with respect to addressing gaps in academic knowledge about Shia, about Ismailis, and about our place in larger Muslim civilization, right? And we've also had now decades of experience in training human resources for the Jamaat, whether it's in the form of YSIN, whether it's in the form of training secondary education teachers, whether it's in the form of training academic directors for primary education, as well as some forays into early childhood education. Um, Now, the the thing is that we do have vast knowledge resources here, both in terms of the staff that work at the institute, as well as in terms of the works we have produced. So, to translate these into religious education that is accessible for the 0 to 99 age group, which is one of the key aspirations of this plan, I think will be a very important opportunity for us to bring the riches of our resources to the awareness of the general public. So that's what I'm hoping for will come out of this.
Wonderful. So any good plan has got a success metrics lined up. So tell us a little bit about what does success look like in terms of this strategic plan? What do you
Yes.
see at the end of the period of this plan?
Yeah. So one thing I have not mentioned until now, but which is very much part of the key objective of the strategic plan, is preservation. So preservation of our historic manuscripts, preservation of the oral history memories that we have as our seniors, pass into another realm. So preservation is really important. And the second thing is production. We have invested any number of resources in the production of knowledge. And then the third, of course, is the propagation of the knowledge that we produce. So if I and all the staff at the Institute and all our stakeholders, if we can signal to each other that we have earned high marks at the end of the 10-year strategic plan period, in these three areas, I will be very happy and very grateful. So, because,
Wonderful.
it really does take many, many hands to produce this work.
It does. And then
Yes.
let's hear from you what excites you most when you think about this 10 years ahead. What for you is the most exciting opportunity?
I think the fact that we can marshal our creativity, we can put our minds to work, we can bring our ethical frameworks and our inner direction to our work to give us a sense of understanding the purpose and meaning of our lives, and also to help us understand how we have responsibilities towards each other, to our communities, and to the ecologies that are interconnected in which we live. I think that that's really what's so exciting about this, because this is an opportunity for us to bring all those together. Thank
Well,
you.
it's such an honor to
Yes.
be able to share this time with you and also to work with you. I really look forward to working with you on the implementation of this strategic plan for the
Thank you.
Institute of Ismaili Studies. It's truly historic.
Yes, thank you. And likewise. Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.